What do you think of parents now? How do you compare them to parents in the 70s?
Oh, it's just completely, the kids have so much power. It's like ridiculous. Like half of these kids, I'm like, I look and I just have what happened to me. And I'm like looking at a kid and be like, this kid's about ready to get punted across the grocery store. And it just never happens.
Right.
They just don't get hit. And I think it's hurting this country.
You're mad. Wait a minute.
Bill Burr is one of the funniest guys alive, and he's also a savage.
Next time Kanye's going off on himself, I'm telling you, just close your eyes, forget it's him, and really listen to what is coming out of this guy's mouth. He says shit like, I'm a genius. I'm a god. I'm Shakespeare. My biggest regret is I'll never get to see myself perform live. That's a direct quote. My biggest regret is I'll never get to see myself perform live. Dude, you put that ego in a white dude that is, ich bin einen in der Streisen. What's the Blitzkrieg? What's a superior race?
Bill Burr didn't become the savage, no-holds-barred comedian we knew overnight. There was a reason behind the fire. You see, behind every punchline, there's usually some pain. And for Bill, it started with a doll. Let me explain. Bill Burr grew up in a house where emotions weren't welcome. His dad was that guy, the no-nonsense, say-it-once type.
He was one of these dudes where, like, I don't know, he's just always in a bad mood. Like, if you try to, like, teach you something, he'd say it once, and then when you didn't get it, he'd just say it louder and louder. And I remember at 6, just going, this guy, he's retarded. Like, I remember we got a dog, and he's trying to teach this dog how to sit. All right, it's a dog, it doesn't speak English, and he's sitting there going, I think he's going, all right, sit. It's a little puppy, sit. Sit down! You're gonna get over there, and you're gonna sit down!
But Bill always knew where the line was, mostly because he didn't want to find out what would happen if he crossed it. It wasn't outright abuse, but it wasn't warm either.
I remember, like, I think it was like when I was first grade, we used to have a bus stop, and it was like right out in front of my house, and my parents used to always be arguing. And my dad was like a maniac, you know, always screaming, "Goddamn fucking bitch!" You know, just total psycho. My dad was like a complete psychopath, you know? Like his nickname in my house was called The Thing. Because that's what he was. He was like, he was his fucking thing. That like, if he wasn't around, we'd say, dude, is the thing home? You know, if he wasn't home, you could chill. He was just like never in a good mood. So one day I'm down at the bus stop. There's like, you know, 10 other kids down there and shit. We're all like in first grade, second grade, third grade, waiting for the bus. And it's like towards the summertime, so my parents got like the windows open and shit. So I can start to hear like an argument starting, like, well, what the fuck do you mean you didn't know? And I'm sitting there going like, please let the bus come, please, for Christ's sake. And all of a sudden, you goddamn fucking bitch, screaming and shit. And I remember just looking at all the other kids' looks on their faces, like, I guess, you know, this is like way before cable, so most kids never even heard curses, so they couldn't believe it. And I was just, that's when it really hit me that, man, my family's really screwed up.
Bill's upbringing was cold, sharp, and predictable in the worst ways. And when you're a kid, you feel that. You fear it. But here's a twist. Bill didn't just fear his dad. Over time, a little part of him started to hate him too. Not because he was a monster, but because he made Bill feel like making his mom laugh made him soft.
I think the worst thing he ever did to me, this is the one that really kind of made me like the anxious, like worrisome person that I am. I remember it was right around Christmas. I was really thinking this because I was driving this girl up for Christmas. He was giving me shit one day. He always hated when I was joking around. I think making my mother laugh somehow was, I don't know, bug him or whatever. So he kept giving me shit. Come on, man, you know, you keep joking around, you know, giggling all the time. You're acting like a little girl. And I'm thinking, like, because he's always fucking with me. I'm going, oh, God, here's a new angle. You know, you asked him for a football for Christmas. You acting like a little girl. What the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm just sitting there going, Jesus. So like 2 weeks later, it's Christmas time. I got like 4 brothers, right? And we always sneak down to go look at the presents. So we go downstairs, right? There's all these gifts down there all wrapped. And we're all looking to see who got what, you know. There's all these little tags, to Ed from Santa. You know, be like, you know, to Bob from Mom and Dad or whatever. And I'm sitting there. Just wait a second. So I look, in like the middle of the tree, I see there's a doll. And I'm thinking, I got 4 brothers. What the fuck is there a doll sitting here? And I remember just looking at this thing. You ever see like those Spike Lee movies where like the background moves and the character doesn't? You just like, it's like one of those deals. And I look up at this doll, right? And it says, "To Bill from Santa." And I'm like, what the fuck? Guy got me a goddamn doll. He came downstairs and he's laughing and shit. He's making me take a picture. I'm like 6 years old and crying and stuff.
That one moment planted a seed of discomfort, a seed of resilience, and eventually rage. But he didn't cry about it. He weaponized it. Years later, the sting from that Christmas morning turned into entire stand-up specials, raging podcasts, and comedy that makes you laugh till your rib hurts. He became the voice for the pissed-off underdogs, because while most people would have just carried that memory as a chip on their shoulder, Bill built a whole damn career out of it. He talks about it now with humor, but if you're really paying attention, that pain's still in there, just sharpened, refined, and repurposed. Bill Burr isn't just funny, he's a case study in how childhood trauma becomes content. And maybe that's why people connect to him, because he's not afraid to admit it sucked, but he still made it funny. Salute.
Like, I was afraid of my dad when I was growing up, you know? Anybody have a dad like that? You're just afraid of him? You know, not like those sitcom dads. They come home, the kids are like hugging their legs. My dad pulls in the driveway. Me and my brother's freaked like, fucking dad's home. Shut off the TV. Try to hide. Dude, if I stand like this, do I look like a lamp? He won't see me, right? Can I just fucking chill out here?